Jiminy is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inagua, Bahamas. From Freeport to Miguana, Bahamas. Tourists love our country, Bahamas. 700 islands, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. Regarding in Tuma, Bahamas. Fishing in Long Island, Bahamas. Sailing on the Melbourne, Bahamas. Diving Conquering West End, Bahamas. Peas and rice and fried fish, Bahamas. Pineapple from Iluka, Bahamas. Flamingo from Inagua, Bahamas. That island started raking spray, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. Nassau is the capital, Bahamas. Jiminy is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. Jungle on Bay Street, Bahamas. They go to church on Sunday, Bahamas. Come solid on the weekend, Bahamas. Catching private address, Bahamas. Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. One nation, under the sun. We love our legacy, our history. Our future love, bright and clear. We salute, we need and fly. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Dance and celebrate, 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 Bahamas.
Woke up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry. Woke up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry. Out in the field from dawn till dusk, swimming in the blue hole is a must. Oh, that island where I was born, the first thing I'll do is roast some corn. Woke up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry.
Defense Force officers on the wrong side of the law as they're arraigned in court today. Also, a man is allegedly murdered at his home that's set on fire overnight. And later, more blackouts expected as BPL commences load shedding. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, more officers appearing in court today, this time to face charges of extortion. Our Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has the details in tonight's top story.
2 Royal Bahamas Police Force officers have been charged with extortion after allegedly accepting money from a U.S. tourist in exchange for helping him avoid prosecution. 23-year-old Brianna Miller and 27-year-old Felton Turner pleaded not guilty when they appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington on Wednesday. Commissioner of Police Shanta Noel says the case demonstrates that no member of the organization is above the law.
We expect professionalism. We expect officers to be out there, to be professional, to be honest in all that they do, to be fair in dispensing justice, to be fair in the execution of their duties. That is exactly what we expect from them.
According to information presented in court, South Florida Eric Mondello was detained after security personnel on board a Royal Caribbean cruise ship turned him over to police for alleged drug possession. Eyewitness News understands that investigators allege Mondello paid $600 to avoid facing charges. A makeshift receipt allegedly created during the transaction is said to have contained the names of both officers. The alleged scheme unraveled after Mondello reportedly filed a complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department and turned over the receipt, triggering the investigation that led to the charges. Both officers were granted bail in the amount of $5,000 and ordered to sign in at their respective police stations. A trial date has been set for September 16, 2026. Commissioner Knowles acknowledging that cases of alleged corruption can damage public confidence, but maintained the actions of a few should not define the entire organization.
Not every officer in this organization is corrupt. Officers who make sacrifices ensure that our communities are safe, and I will continue to thank them for the sacrifices that they make.
Turner is represented by attorney Maria Daxon, while Miller is represented by attorney Melvin Monroe. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meantime, another group of law enforcement officers facing serious criminal allegations is adding to a growing list of cases that have cast a shadow over the very agencies tasked with upholding the law. Our Jose Etienne also in court today as the officers were arraigned. He joins me live in studio tonight. Jose?
Janaea, 2 police officers and a Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer are now facing serious drug trafficking charges following an investigation reportedly sparked by a viral voice note that raised allegations of corruption. For context, here's a snippet of that audio recording that references weapons, concealment, and apparent violent outcomes, all while those speaking in the audio recordings, one of them believed to be a policeman, have seemingly adopted a disturbingly casual tone.
That was kamikaze, but we made that look like that was planned. Man said, boy dog, but that going so quiet and clean.
Over 1 year later, that clip is said to be responsible for Inspector Alcott Forbes, Corporal Brendan Dean, and leading mechanic Raymond Russell being arraigned before the magistrate's court on Wednesday afternoon on multiple cocaine-related offenses dating back to 2021. Police Inspector Dion Barr, who prosecuted the matter, alleged that the 3 men conspired to import, export, and possess cocaine between November 1st, 2021 and March 31st, 2022. Their court appearance is believed to be the culmination of an internal investigation launched in May 2025 after that widely circulated voice note surfaced on social media, purportedly capturing a conversation allegedly between 2 police officers discussing firearms, hidden items, and other matters that raised concerns about possible criminal conduct. The recording quickly gained public attention and reignited scrutiny within law enforcement circles, ultimately leading to a formal investigation. And it fueled corruption controversy given that the voice note came months after Police Chief Superintendent Elvis Curtis and former Chief Petty Officer Darren Roker were indicted on major drug and firearm-related crimes. While details surrounding the alleged conspiracy were not outlined in court, prosecutors contend that the accused men were involved in a coordinated effort relating to cocaine trafficking during the period outlined in the charges. It's a striking development for Forbes in particular, who finds himself on the wrong side of the law just over a year after being cleared of any wrongdoing in a police-involved triple killing that left 3 men known to police dead in a vehicle just off Cowpen Road. Forbes, Dean, and Russell all pleaded not guilty to today's charges. Now, the 2 police officers have since been interdicted from duty. It remains unclear whether Russell remains an active member of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force or whether any administrative action has been taken against him. Magistrate Abigail Farrington granted each accused bail in the amount of $50,000, but the men were remanded to the Nassau Street Police Station until Thursday as bail conditions were being finalized. Attorneys Dr. K. Melvin Monroe and Jerron Roberts represented Forbes. Monroe himself stood in defense for Dean, while attorney Lilney Grant appeared on Russell's behalf. This is a story we will continue to follow, but for now, I'm Jose Etienne. Back to you, Janelle.
Thanks so much, our Jose Etienne, live in studio tonight. Meantime, Executive Chair of the Police Staff Association, Kirk Bastian, speaking out after those 4 police officers found themselves on the other side of the justice system, appearing before the courts to answer criminal allegations. The association making it clear tonight that the organization does not condone misconduct, corruption, or any action that compromise the integrity of the police force or erode public trust. He's stressing tonight that the police badge carries a significant responsibility and that every officer is expected to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and accountability.
I believe an appropriate disciplinary and legal process should be allowed to take their course. Every officer is entitled to due process. But every member of the public is also entitled to expect accountability. The association respects both principles. In any instance of corruption, it's one too many. But it would be unfair to characterize the entire organization based on actions of a small number of individuals. The vast majority of our officers serve with honor and integrity.
Well, Eyewitness News turning to social media today, posing the question, how confident are you that these incidents, like officers being allegedly involved in criminal activity, can be effectively prevented in the future? 1% of participants voted very confident the current systems are enough if properly enforced. 8% voted somewhat confident, but stronger oversight and reforms are needed. 6% voted not very confident. Corruption is difficult to eliminate completely. And 85% voted not confident at all. More systemic change is required. Well, Jonathan Eric Gardner, the convicted Bahamian drug kingpin at the center of a growing international drug trafficking investigation, remains behind bars tonight after a U.S. federal judge in New York denied his request for immediate release from their custody. The ruling comes just as U.S. prosecutors formally filed an indictment against Gardner, accusing him of participating in a cocaine importation conspiracy, a firearms conspiracy, and the use, carrying, and possession of firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking. In a brief order issued today, the judge denied Gardner's petition for release without prejudice, indicating that any challenge to his detention must be pursued through a bail hearing before a U.S. magistrate judge. Gardner's case attracting significant attention here at home in recent weeks after a sworn affidavit filed by U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Michael Coleman alleged that Gardner discussed a cocaine trafficking operation with a Bahamian politician and attended meetings inside the House of Assembly. Those allegations sparking heated debate in Parliament, with government officials maintaining that the claims remain unproven, while the opposition has called for greater scrutiny of the matter. Gardner is expected to remain in federal custody as the case moves through the U.S. court system. A story we are continuing to follow. Meantime, a deadly discovery inside a burning home has triggered a major police investigation. Tonight, authorities are searching for answers and also a suspect. Our Jose Etienne has the details tonight.
What began as a house fire in Nassau Village is now unraveling into a complex and disturbing death investigation. Tonight, police are pursuing leads in the death of 63-year-old Perry Cox, who was found dead inside his burning duplex early Wednesday morning. Investigators now believe the fire may have been used to conceal a violent crime. Neighbors say the discovery came after they were awakened by the smell of smoke coming from the property.
We saw the smoke coming in from his part, and we continued to bang on the windows to get him up. I called the phone. He didn't answer the phone. I kept calling, and so I called the fire department, the police 919.
Cox's longtime tenant, who lived on the property for nearly 2 decades, says she called her landlord as the fire spread, not knowing he was already dead inside the home. Investigators are now focusing on several key pieces of evidence, including Cox's Lexus, which was removed from the property before authorities arrived. Residents believe the vehicle may hold clues about who was at the home in the hours before the fire. There is also growing speculation that the person responsible may have been known to the victim, a theory police have neither confirmed or dismissed as the investigation unfolds.
I'm sorry that happened, and I hope they find out exactly who did this, who is responsible for this.
For those close to Cox, the tragedy is both personal and baffling. His tenant describes a man who was more like family than a landlord, making the circumstances surrounding his death even more difficult to process.
He didn't deserve this. He was a good person. He was always a caring person. He always looked out in the yard, and we always kept our gate closed. He always made sure that everything was intact because, you know, we live next to him and we're women, so I have children, so he always made sure, okay, you're all good and all of that. So we grew up basically like family.
Meanwhile, police have launched a manhunt for a suspect as forensic and homicide investigators work to determine exactly what happened inside the duplex before the fire erupted.
Foul play is suspected in this matter.
With a dead man, a torched home, and a missing vehicle now central to this case, investigators are racing to determine whether the fire was the final act in a deadly crime. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
On to some other news tonight. Residents in Fire Trail and several western New Providence communities bracing for another round of load shedding tonight as Bahamas Grid Company and BPL continues testing associated with the installation of a new transmission. The planned outages expected to occur in 3-hour intervals. They come as frustration continues over power interruptions across the island. The work forming part of BPL's broader effort to modernize the country's transmission network, a project officials say is essential to improving the long-term reliability of the electrical system. However, these upgrades have faced delays, with government officials previously citing construction setbacks and other challenges that have pushed back key timelines. Now, for residents enduring yet another night of scheduled outages in the middle of a summer heat wave, the concern is no longer about what is being built, but how much longer they will have to wait for reliable power, a story we continue to follow. Meantime, frustrations boiling over on the island of Eleuthera as residents demand answers from Bahamas Power and Light after enduring nearly 24 hours without electricity. The latest outage began around 8 p.m. yesterday. It's left many residents struggling to carry out daily activities and raising some fresh concerns about the reliability of power service on the island. Resident Austina Clark says the prolonged blackout has caused some major disruptions and claims that the frequent outages have become an all too common part of life on Eleuthera.
Whole lot of inconvenience. Let's not talk about the heat. Let's not talk about losing food in the refrigerator, possible problems with our appliances now that power has been restored. I know of several people that are diabetics, compromising insulin, those that perhaps need oxygen. This island has so many tourists, so many second homeowners here on this island. So I'm pretty sure, too, it's a big inconvenience not only for locals. Unfortunately, this happens just about every other day. But as I'm speaking to you, the lights are dipping and the power is off once again.
Clark says what makes the situation even more frustrating is the lack of communication from Bahamas Power and Light, receiving little to no information about the cause of the outage or when service is expected to be restored.
I have not received any. Like I said, because no power, Wi-Fi was down. So if they did send something out, I was not able to retrieve any information. I would only hope that they did inform the public as to why and for how long. I said to you shortly that the power went back off, but it's now back on again. See, when it pops in and out like this, then this is how appliances are damaged. Once they're damaged, we're responsible for replacing these items, which you know appliances are very, very costly.
Well, according to Bahamas Power and Light, the latest update on the island-wide outage in Eleuthera is that restoration efforts are making some progress. The company says power has now been restored to customers from Hatchet Bay to Governor's Harbor. However, communities south of Governor's Harbor, they remain without electricity as crews continue working to repair the system and restore service. BPL says its teams are working safely and as quickly as possible to return power to all affected consumers, and that additional updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Turning to news from Parliament tonight, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard raising several questions on the floor of the House during his contribution to the budget debate, hoping government will respond, among them related to payments to Junkanoo groups, updates on Grand Bahama projects, and also the proposed National Identification Card.
So again, we welcome identification as long, Madam Speaker, as we obey the data protection rules. So when we start talking about mining information, it is critical that we comply with the law and that the government is seen to be complying with the law. But we certainly support a national identification card. We also want to know, Madam Speaker, has the Junkanoo groups already been paid from the last set of parades? Have they received the money that is due to them since the last set of parades? Thirdly, we want to know in terms of the airport, whether or not the government expects to commence construction of the airport shortly, and if so, when do they intend to commence construction of the airport in Grand Bahama? Afro Exim Bank now has a liability of $43.1 million. We wish to know at what point will the work commence on the project that has been mentioned here in the House by the member for Pine Ridge.
Pintard also slamming what he described as a double standard when it comes to politically affiliated members of the public service, suggesting that while employees attached to the governing party get away with their public campaigning, he says those affiliated with other parties have been punished for the same.
Madam Speaker, we have persons who are being released at this time. So surely it can't be right that we have persons, Madam Speaker, who are in the public service, who are all day long burning fire on other people on social media, but they're collecting a check, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and those persons who are suspected to support another party, in our case, the Free National Movement, are getting letters from permanent secretaries asking them to cease and desist from any political association, Madam Speaker. And I don't need to identify the multiplicity of ministries. I'll just start with Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Madam Speaker, writing letters, Madam Speaker. And so, again, there has to be a program, because obviously the program has worked for the PLP. There has to be a program that more unemployed persons, Madam Speaker, should be able to have an opportunity to work.
Meantime, an uptick in industrial accidents raising concern about workplace safety and whether enough is being done to prevent some serious injury or deaths on the job. Our Rebecca Bain has the details tonight.
In less than 24 hours, the country's industrial accident toll for 2026 increased by 2. The latest incidents include a man who was fatally struck while performing roadside duties along John F. Kennedy Drive, while another reportedly fell through an unfinished ceiling at a construction site. For OSHA-certified safety professional Jared Darville, these incidents are part of a troubling trend that demands greater attention to workplace safety.
Can't begin to understand how these families feel right now, because these are accidents, but these could have been avoided with proper safety mechanisms put in place. Right now, we just need to put the proper resources where they need to be.
Darville says the tools and training needed to help prevent these types of incidents are in arm's reach. He notes that OSHA certification courses offered free of charge through BTVI teach participants how to identify, assess, and prevent workplace hazards across a range of industries. However, he believes many employees and employers, both new and experienced, are not taking advantage of the training opportunities available to them.
We can't ask somebody else to make sure that we're safe. We have to be able to make sure that we are safe, and we can't take it for granted that, yes, I've been doing this for X amount of years and nothing has ever happened, so I won't ensure that the safety mechanisms are there to protect me. Because at the end of the day, right, we have to protect ourselves.
He argues that too many people have become accustomed to working in unsafe environments, increasing the risk of serious accidents.
The OSHA law says that if it's any work about 4 feet, there should be fall protection. These big buildings are being built and nobody has on a harness to protect them from falling. We can also be able to use cones to be able to divert traffic, to understand when work is being done, signs. If we frequent in America, we have flashing signs that says speeding while workers are present is double the fine.
Darville says he has been pushing for stronger workplace safety measures since 2014 and will continue advocating for reform until real progress is made. As he works towards advanced OSHA qualifications, he hopes the country can reverse the trend of industrial accidents and make safety a top priority in every workplace.
One death is one too many. We should not take anything for granted, take advantage of these resources that are available.
Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, government says improving safety in high-risk work sites remains a top priority following a series of industrial accidents that have raised concern about workplace conditions. The Minister of Labor, Pia Clover-Rolls, says her ministry is committed to strengthening workplace safety standards and will continue to work with non-governmental partners to help ensure safer working environments across the country.
The Department of Labor is actively strengthening its occupational safety and health unit to meet this challenge. Madam Speaker, through our partnership with the OAS, we are preparing to implement the use of modern technology, including drone-assisted inspections, to improve our ability to monitor high-risk work sites, particularly large-scale construction projects and locations that are difficult to access through traditional inspection methods. This technology will enhance our capacity to identify hazards, assess compliance, strengthen surveillance efforts, and improve workplace safety outcomes.
Clover-Rolls says collaboration with relevant government agencies will also play a role in mitigating unfortunate industrial accidents, along with training efforts for inspection staffers.
The Department of Labor has partnered with the Buildings Permit Unit of the Ministry of Works, through which we will establish a comprehensive inventory of active construction sites throughout the Bahamas. This enhanced coordination will strengthen our surveillance capabilities, improve the targeting of inspections, and ensure that workplace safety standards are being monitored and upheld from the earliest stages of construction activity. Additionally, we will continue to invest in the development of our inspectorate through consistent training and capacity building initiatives. Effective enforcement requires highly trained professionals equipped with current knowledge, modern tools, and international best practices.
Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with all of the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel, scan that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow the Eyewitness News Facebook and Instagram pages. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, health experts sounding the alarm as men continue to lead suicide statistics. We've got that story coming up. And later, the recidivism rate at the Simpson Penn School for Boys is low. We've got an explanation why. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Hey, psst, it's me, Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper. Saturday, June 20th at Atlantis, Bahamas. Cyndi Lauper. Tickets on sale now at atlantislive.com.
And it's going to be a party, a big celebration.
Don't miss Cyndi Lauper live.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
The week moves fast. Move smart with KFC. Monday, start with crunchy deals. Tuesday, you already know it's crazy. Wednesday, keep it under $10. Thursday, the Kentucky Crunch for $7.50. Friday, the meal deal for $9.85. Saturday night, we got you covered. And Sunday, no stove today. The fill-up box feeds the family. Outsmart the week with KFC.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tile's Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubis, $6.65. Shell coming in at $6.85. Esso, $7.07. Your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. A silent crisis is unfolding among Bahamian men, this according to mental health professionals who say cultural expectations are preventing many from seeking help when they need it most. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
For many Bahamian men, showing emotion is still seen as a sign of weakness. Medical professionals warning that the deeply rooted belief is contributing to a growing mental health crisis as men continue to account for the majority of suicide deaths in the country. With June observed as Men's Mental Health Month, health officials say cultural expectations that men must remain tough and self-reliant are preventing many from seeking help until they reach a breaking point.
The problem is stigma. As a culture, we don't teach our men or boys how to express themselves emotionally.
That's general psychiatrist attached to the Child and Adolescent Unit at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, Dr. Thomas Smith, who says one of the biggest challenges to improving men's mental health in the Bahamas is the persistent belief that expressing emotion makes a man weak. He says from an early age, many boys are taught to suppress their feelings, a pattern that often follows them into adulthood and makes it more difficult to seek help during periods of emotional distress. The consequences of that silence are showing up in numbers. Men have accounted for the majority of suicide deaths in the Bahamas for the past 3 years. Eyewitness News records show that in 2024, 6 of the country's 10 reported suicides involved men. In 2025, that number climbed sharply, with men accounting for 12 of the 16 reported suicides. And so far this year, 3 of 5 recorded suicides have involved men. Health professionals say many of the challenges men face in adulthood often have their roots in childhood.
Kids who might be in the inner city where they're struggling with whether they're in the right road, in the right address, with the right crowd, that could cause a whole lot of issues for young men who may not want to be affiliated with the wrong crowd.
Smith says children who grow up without healthy emotional support systems or positive coping mechanisms can carry those struggles into later life, increasing their risk of mental health challenges. He notes that many men who eventually seek treatment are often dealing with a combination of social, financial, and personal pressures.
Unemployment is one. Living in areas that are not perhaps accessing all of the would-be up-to-date technology.
Unemployment, financial stress, relationship breakdown, social isolation, and the rapid changes brought on by technology are among the factors health experts say are impacting men's mental well-being. For those in need of support, mental health services are available through the Fleming Street Community Clinic and the Community Counseling and Assessment Center. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
On to some other news. Parents tonight are questioning a decision by a local public senior high school to charge entry for graduation. Danielle Dean has the details in this report.
As the 2026 graduation season draws to a close, some family members say their celebration was marred by an unexpected cost. Attendees who arrived at the Anatole Rogers Senior High School graduation without tickets were given an alternative option: pay $5 for entry. Trinique Edwards says she was among those caught off guard.
I left, and my mom convinced me and called me back to come back here. Said they're letting people in now. And the issue was not the $5, it's the principle. It was definitely the principle, not the price. It was the principle. It's distasteful for them to use such a, I don't even know if I want to say vulnerable, but such a meaningful experience to a lot of families, because you have a lot of those students in that gymnasium, they're first generation graduates, right? Their families came here to support them, and a lot of them were denied and rejected from coming in.
The move sparked frustration among some attendees who questioned why they were being charged to enter a graduation ceremony held at a public facility.
It is only when I got to the front, after standing on the line, then I was told, hey, we needed $5 to get in.
A lot of people had to pay money. They say, well, they only allowed 3 on the invitation, but still, $5 in a gym to the school? That's crazy. That's government property. You all might as well rent a hall or something and then charge it there, but not a government. I don't understand. It's just crazy.
But Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell says the fee was not intended to generate revenue. Instead, it was used as a deterrent for those who arrived without tickets after the venue reached capacity.
They said they applied that fee to really discourage more persons from attending. But, for me, this highlights what we would consider a growing challenge. Our team members are saying that graduation ceremonies are becoming increasingly difficult to manage because many venues cannot accommodate the large number of attendees being requested, and at least not at a reasonable cost. Many of our team members are saying it's very challenging to find a venue that could hold all of the parents and family members that the children want to attend, and that's why they limited them to 3 tickets. And those, to discourage those who would come, they charged that $5.
More than 300 students graduated from Anatole Rogers this year, and McCartney-Russell says the incident has highlighted the challenges of accommodating large crowds at public school graduations. With several ceremonies still to come, she says the ministry is looking at long-term solutions to reduce stress on school administrators while making the events more accessible for families. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, several employees from government agencies housed at the Ivy Dumont building, they were forced to evacuate today after a foul odor spread throughout the facility. Staff members were seen gathered outside as officials worked to address the issue, which is believed to be related to the building's water and sewage system. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Lorraine Umbrister, urging that all protocols were followed, and officials were hopeful employees will be able to return to work tomorrow.
We have a team at the Ministry of Education that deals with all health and safety issues, not just at the headquarters building, but throughout the education, science and technology sector. So we're very concerned about all health and safety issues. Well, when these sorts of things happen, when we determine that it will not be addressed in a short time frame, we don't want to be inhumane. And so we do ask staff, once we get the necessary approvals, I've contacted my minister, who's the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, and I've contacted Secretary of the Cabinet and brought it to their attention. But you cannot have human beings existing in these sorts of conditions.
Superintendent of the Simpson Penn Center for Boys, Basil Johnson, says recidivism rates is low and residents are rarely remanded to BDOCs for new or repeated offenses. Johnson says the common reason residents land in prison is because they, quote, age out, reaching the age of 18 as they await court cases to be heard.
It's not because of a new offense. It's just that their case was not heard in a timely manner. That is the only reason why some of them may transition over to the bigger prison. And so that's something I'm trying to work expeditiously with the magistrate. We have monthly meetings with our Chief Justice, with our Chief Magistrate as well, to see if we can iron out the kinks so that these boys can go to court. We might have boys who might actually be innocent, but because it takes so long before the case is heard, they might find themselves there in custody or detention.
Johnson says there are currently 34 residents at the facility and the extent of their charges is attempted robbery. He argues that the center inspires a change in heart for boys that pass through it and that all hope is not lost, a number of whom he says recently sat their BJC examinations.
There's nobody there charged for murder. We have a few boys there who may be there for attempted robbery, but that's the major crime right now at the center. In the last 3 years, we had no absconding, and so rather than the boys trying to escape, they are asking for additional time based on the effectiveness of the center and the programs that are there. We have an inter-partnership relationship with the U.S. Embassy, the police force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force were there on Tuesday with their mentorship program, and so it's going extremely well. We are in talks with BTVI to see if we can get a MOU so that the boys can have programs over the summer.
Well, Killarney MP Michael Barnett Ellis raising concern over changes to the Environmental Impact Assessment Act that make public consultation optional rather than mandatory. During her maiden budget debate contribution, Barnett Ellis warned that the amendment could allow major environmental decisions to be made without input from stakeholders and communities directly affected by proposed projects.
I think the member from Mount Moriah said yesterday that climate change impacts our existence right now. And, Madam Speaker, it's not as if we don't understand the importance of consultation. The need for consultation, the benefit of it, has been addressed by our courts. And those rulings have led to the creation of important legislation, including the Environmental Planning and Protection Act. The court said that consultation is a vital ingredient of transparency in good governance, and it is right that public authorities inform those who may be affected by their decisions. So if that is the gold standard, why would this vital ingredient of transparency not be a mandatory part of the application for environmental clearance?
Public consultation has become an increasingly important issue in recent years, particularly as it relates to major and often controversial development projects. Among the most high-profile examples are the proposed Exuma developments by the Integra Group and the government's decision to locate a new public hospital on Propal Track. Responding to concerns raised by the Killarney MP, Environment Minister Zane Lightburn argued that she misinterpreted that amendment to the Environmental Impact Assessment Act. He maintained that the changes do not remove opportunities, rather, for public consultation.
And the option is now given where a full environment impact assessment is not required, that the director have a discretion of triggering a public consultation in any event. Areas that would have been, for example, dredged or worked on before and would need to be re-dredged or have works carried out. The director, they would not need a full environmental impact because it would have been done with the original project. However, the director now has, this gives the option of adding additional public consultation that can be triggered by the director rather than having to have a full environmental impact assessment.
And I invite him to look at the regulations because the section that is being removed and amended is the section that calls for that automatic public consultation.
Well, Tropical Storm Arthur has formed near the Texas coast It's becoming the first named storm of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. Forecasters say Arthur is expected to bring some heavy rain, gusty winds, and the risk of life-threatening flooding to portions of the U.S. Gulf Coast, including Texas and Louisiana. At this time, Arthur does not pose a threat to the Bahamas. Residents are, however, reminded that the Atlantic hurricane season is now underway. Officials continue to encourage the public to review their hurricane plan and to stay prepared. Still to come in Eyewitness News, Bahamas Striping looking to employ more residents as it carries out work here in New Providence. We've got that story coming up, but first, an extended check on tonight's weather forecast.
Hi. Hello? Hey girl, I am Wendy's. I'm trying to go to Essence Fest. Wendy's and Coca-Cola want to take you and your bestie to New Orleans. July 3rd through 5th is Essence Fest, and you could be traveling VIP style.
Roxy?
Tenders?
Tenders.
All you gotta do is upgrade any premium lunch combo 1 through 12 or a salad to a large, like a spicy number 6, add cheese and bacon, or a Dave's Classic, or my personal favorite, tendies. This will now serve as your final boarding call for Flight 735, service into Essence Fest. Boarding now. Nola! We coming back?
In a world of imagination, even a little mess can be part of the adventure. But for a truly royal snack, we need a clean slate. A few drops of Penalin dish liquid makes even dried-on paint disappear like magic. Penalin dish liquid, powerful cleaning in 3 fresh scents.
Step inside a world of adventure with Mandalorian and Grogu at Burger King. See The Mandalorian and Grogu only in cinemas.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
The Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is preparing to recruit workers for its upcoming New Providence Roadworks project with a job fair aimed at connecting Bahamians with new employment opportunities. The project is expected to support ongoing efforts to improve road safety, upgrade key roadways, and strengthen the island's transportation infrastructure. The company's human resources manager, Patricia Stewart Brown, says the expansion of road improvement efforts across New Providence will require a range of workers as the company prepares to bring additional manpower on board. The job fair is scheduled for Friday, June 19th at the company's headquarters. They're welcoming persons from 17 years to retirement age.
Persons to fulfill various skill sets in the Bahamas, various skill sets. We have a project coming up in New Providence, and let me just say a little bit about the New Providence project, just to get a little feed so you'll have an understanding of what we're doing first. The New Providence roadwork contracts will enable the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies to undertake the paving and highways of main roads, feeder roads, and subdivision roads, and any associated drainage system improvements necessary. The project is intended to improve the flow of traffic, road safety, and overall serviceability of road throughout New Providence for the benefit of residents and visitors alike.
Stuart Brown says the recruitment drive represents both an investment in infrastructure and also an opportunity to create jobs as the company works to fill some key positions needed to support the demands of the project.
We have laborers, administrative assistants, we have procurement and logistics, and we also have heavy equipment operators and mechanics. So that's some of the skill set that we're looking for this project as we go forward. As many people to come out as possible. For instance, we're looking for laborers in the amount of, say, 20 to 25 laborers alone to start up the New Providence property. And I say start up because this is where we begin. It's not where we're going to end, but it's where we're going to start. We're looking for logistic clerks. We're looking for junior accountants. So it's a wide scope. Actually, because we're actually building a whole team for New Providence. That's separate and apart from Exuma and Eleuthera.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Devontae Hanna has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Devontae.
Well, good evening, Janelle. We're going to talk about some judo, some equestrian, and then some chess. So a pretty interesting sportscast right after this break.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
A lively Junkanoo lineup set the tone as Liferkey International School greeted Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin and senior ministry officials. The minister left students with a powerful reminder to embrace their potential and strive for excellence.
Thank you for the work that you're doing and to encourage all of the young people here to really just embrace the humanness of who you are and the great potential of what you are, and let the world just see it express itself and play out. We wish you all the best as you're in the second term. You have one more term.
The program featured a variety of performances, including a harmonious selection by the school's choir. School leaders guided ministry officials on a tour of the campus's state-of-the-art facilities, highlighting the new computer labs, recording studios, and dance studios. I'm Prydon Wilson, and this is Ed Talk.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Devontae Hanna, filling in for Laurentia Smith. Welcome to Eyewitness Sports. We begin tonight with Bahamian judicant Xavier Johnson, who is making a statement ahead of two major international meets. We have some video there from where Johnson captured gold at the 2026 Tahiti Oceania Open in French Polynesia, winning the men's 73-kilogram division. Now, the performance placed the Bahamas 5th on the overall medal table and moved Johnson into the top 10 in the region. Get this, he's now ranked 22nd in the world junior rankings and 150th in the senior world rankings. Johnson says the win is a confidence boost as he prepares for the Central American and Caribbean Games, that's the CAC Games, which will be in El Salvador, and the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow this year. He says he is taking his development step by step, but believes he is ready to compete for gold on the international stage. Johnson, though, will now return to Montreal, Canada for a month of training as he continues his push toward the Senior World Championships later this year. Well, in other sports news, Bahamian equestrians continue to make their mark on the international stage this weekend with impressive results across North America and Europe. At the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida, Sienna Jones and Lolita Z finished 5th out of 20 riders in the 0.9-meter speed class, with Ella Sadie and Lepore securing 3rd place among 33 competitors in the 1-meter speed class. Meanwhile, at the Loudon Benefit Show in Virginia, Casey Smith and Najano B placed 4th out of 19 entries in the 1.3-meter power and speed competition. Meanwhile, in dressage action at the CDI Socrates competition in New York, 13-year-old Gabriela Souza and Gitano captured 1st place in the FEI Children's Division. Souza posted a winning score of 67.525% in the team test before returning on Sunday to claim another victory with an even stronger score of 69.929%. And overseas in Belgium, Millie Vaslov and Guliev du Saint-Chenet finished 23rd out of a field of 76 riders in the CS14 1.45-meter PRIJS Stahl Hendricks competition at the Centaur Park. A strong weekend of results for Bahamian riders as they continue to compete and succeed on some of the sport's biggest international stages. Now, right back here at home, the Bahamas Chess Federation has wrapped up the 2026 Warren Seymour Classic, the first event in its Open Series and the first qualifier for the 2026 Bahamas National Chess Championship. Avian Pride emerged as tournament champion, finishing clear first with 4.5 points from 5 games. Candidate Master Brian Small finished 2nd with 4 points, while Sohan Umish also scored 4 points, placing 3rd on tiebreaks. Philip Hanna Jr. finished 4th with 3.5 points, followed by William Davis in 5th. Now, with the win, Pride becomes the first player to qualify for the 2026 Bahamas National Chess Championship through the qualifying series. Small also secured qualification with his strong performance. The tournament also serving as a training event for members of the 2026 Bahamas Chess Olympiad team, including Avian Pride, Philip Hanna Jr., Byron Small, women candidate Master Chica Pride, and Diana Williams. Federation officials say the event marks an important first step on the road to the national championship, while also helping develop Bahamian chess talent ahead of international competition. Some big news there. Well, that's a look at sports, but don't you move. There's more news right after this break.
Andres here, I come in my 2027. Oh, God is so good. Island Lock, I thank you, I tell you. I'm going to pray over this and I'm going to drive this all around town and show off and show them what Island Lock does for customers like me. I caught the keys with Island Lock and thank you, Jesus. I caught the keys.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, our graduation feature continues this week. We're celebrating Jalila Ramming, who graduated from the Freeport Primary School in Grand Bahama. From your mom, dad, sister, and extended family, congratulations to you. Also coming out of Grand Bahama, congratulations to Ryan Payton. He graduated from the Sunland Baptist Academy. Congratulations are also extended to Kashan Bethel from your family and friends. We also have twin brothers, Lavere and Lemire, from the Maurice Moore School. That coming in from your hype instructor, Melissa Farrington. Back in the capital, we have congratulations to Dominic Bain. He graduated from the St. Augustine's College today with honors from your mom, dad, grandparents, and sisters. Most importantly, your favorite sister, Rebecca. We'll get those pictures coming up for you tomorrow for those that missed it. But coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, it's a full look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Noel saying good night and be safe, everyone.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
So you want a space, but not just any space. We need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Bahamians sweating through another round of power outages. Is there any relief on the horizon? Tonight, first-hand experience from Eleuthera and the CEO and manager of Family Island of BPL are here to speak on what's behind the latest bout of power outages. Those police officers accused of extortion in court today, we hear of their charges while the Police Staff Association speaks out. Meanwhile, another group of police officers appearing before a judge today on charges connected to cocaine. It's all straight ahead tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Residents in Fire Trail and several western New Providence communities are bracing for another round of load shedding tonight as Bahamas Grid Company continues testing associated with the installation of a new transmission line. The planned outages expected to occur in the 3-hour intervals come as frustration mounts over power interruptions across the island, New Providence. The work forms part of Bahama Grid Company's broader effort to modernize the country's transmission network, a project officials say is essential to improving the long-term reliability of the electrical system. However, those upgrades have faced delays, with government officials previously citing construction setbacks and other challenges that have pushed back key timelines. For residents, though, enduring yet another night of scheduled outages in the middle of an unprecedented heat wave, of course, the concern is no longer about what is being built or the modernization of the project, but how much longer they will have to wait for reliable power. Meanwhile, there is frustration in pockets throughout Eleuthera tonight as residents are demanding answers from BPL after enduring nearly 24 hours without electricity. The latest outage began around 8 o'clock yesterday evening and has left many residents struggling to carry out daily activities and raising fresh concerns about the reliability of power service on the island. Well, we're going to now get into that and hear from Eleuthera this evening. Joining me is Aldred Albury from Eleuthera. Aldred, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here. I know residents, I'm part of a WhatsApp group that I think that you are the administrator or one of the administrators for. Thousands of Bahamians, rather hundreds of Bahamians and hundreds of visitors are also a part of that group and have been angry since last night. How many areas remain off right now? Aldred, can you hear me? Guys, let's see if Aldred if we can get him on. Okay, we're going to get to him in just a moment. Pockets of outages remain on Eleuthera. Throughout the day, there were reconnections, and then almost immediately following that, there were outages. Just went out again, and people were very, very angry. When we have Aldred, please, okay, let's go back to him right now. Hi, Aldred. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Glad to be here.
It's good. How many areas remain off right now in Eleuthera?
Well, at last report from the Power Watch group, which is actually a group that my wife and I made, I think all areas are back on, or just about all areas. The last area was just north of Governor's Harbor. It's an area, or what they call German Village, which is kind of between Banana Beach and Hot Point. Pardon me. That was the last area, and they were actually off from 8 p.m. last night till 7 p.m. today. So for a total of about 23 hours, they were out of electricity.
Now I've seen, obviously, in the group that you and your wife have created, and all over social media, people talking about how they've been impacted. Talk about what you know today, what you have heard, and how has business, life, just regular getting things done, how have they been impacted today?
Well, for instance, from last night at about 8 o'clock in North Eleuthera, the electricity went off. It was off for about 3 to 4 hours. Me and my family actually went driving in the car because it was so hot. But even after we came back home, it was still off. And when it finally did come on last evening, it was off and on all night. It actually went off 3 times this morning from about 6 to 6:40. So in about a 40-minute period, it went off 3 separate times. Regular things you couldn't get done. If you needed to, you couldn't iron no clothes with the electricity off. Businesses were impacted. Ironically, BPL's office in Governor's Harbor, where persons go to pay their bills, were actually closed today as well because of no electricity.
Well, I understand it's not just BPL's office, but I understand banks and other government offices everywhere shut down, including businesses, because there was no power and people could get nothing done, obviously.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. And the report from BPL said that one of their rental generators had tripped offline. BPL personnel, along with persons from the rental company, were working to get it rectified. They said that it was rectified sometime later this afternoon. However, there were still some areas that were out of electricity for various reasons. I know that it's a two-compound issue, because while the generation shortage is an issue on the island once a generator goes down, the transmission and distribution network itself is also an issue, because we always have various down power lines, blown transformers, breakers that are blown that have to be replaced, because for the most part, the grid, especially in North Eleuthera, hasn't been upgraded since Hurricane Andrew in 1992, which right now we're heading on up to 34 years ago.
What? Well, anyway, I have the executives here. I'll ask you this final question. Have you heard how people personally have been impacted? For example, the elderly, persons with young kids. How have they been impacted all day?
Well, obviously they were impacted. I was actually contacted by a person that lives just north of Governor's Harbor, saying that they had been trying to get hold of someone to report an isolated issue in their area, which was the area that was out for 23 hours. She contacted all of the numbers for BPL on Eleuthera. She wasn't able to get any answer. She finally reached out to me directly. I gave her the number for the call center in Nassau, and she said the lady that answered the phone told her she would have to transfer her. When she transferred her, the person that came on the phone told her, "I'm sorry, we don't deal with Family Island issues." So I'm not sure if that was the truth, or what was the reason pertaining to that, because their call center, I would assume, would be taking issues from all of the areas to pass on to personnel in those various areas.
Yes.
That there's an issue in that area.
Well, you have the CEO here shaking her head, agreeing with you that that is what is supposed to happen. So, Aldred, I thank you for being here this evening, for speaking with me. I'm happy that you all now have lights on, and I hope throughout the night, and that you can remain cool and comfortable. But I'm going to now switch this discussion to the executives. So go back in the group, tell them, tune in, so we can all hear what the executives have to say this evening.
Will do. Thank you, Shanique.
Thank you so much. Good to see you. I welcome now this evening to Beyond the Headlines, BPL CEO Christina Alston and the General Manager of Family Islands for BPL, Anthony Christie. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Slight correction.
Yes.
And you need to know Bahamas. Here we have Madam Chair. She's a chair lady of BPL, and myself, I'm the Chief Operating Officer of BPL. Our CEO
so I have
is
the
Tony
chairman.
Seaman.
Yes,
Seaman.
the chairman of BPL,
Tony
Christina
Pratt.
Alston, and also the Chief Operations Officer, Anthony Christie from BPL. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony, what's going on in Eleuthera?
Well, again, overnight in Eleuthera, as stated by Mr. Albury, we had a T&D fault on our line in James Cistern around 8 p.m., and that impacted the power station at Hatchet Bay. So that took offline the customers in the north, what we call a northern feeder, as well as a southern feeder south of Hatchet Bay all the way to Governor's Harbor. So what the team immediately did was to locate the fault, which was in James Cistern. There was a neutral line that came off. They had to restore that, and then they began to restore the generation at the plant. We do have enough generation on the island in the north and in the south to cover all of the demand on Eleuthera. But when there's a fault on the T&D system, this impacts how we can get the power generated to the customers. So overnight, they were able to restore the north feeder. As they tried to close and restore the southern feeder, they ran into issues. In combination with the T&D fault, we had a generation unit that had a fault on one of its cylinders, so they had a mechanical fault on the engine. So that took that unit offline. But again, the rental generation that's there is enough to restore the island, but we still had additional faults in the southern feeder. So as they restored the unit during the daytime, they were able to locate 2 additional faults south of Hatchet Bay to Governors, in which they begin the restoration. So that took us from 8 p.m. last night until about a little after 4 today. So as Mr. Albury mentioned, I think we had a pocket or one street in a sense that was offline. So we were able to restore them and get all customers restored again in less than 24 hours. And I would say around 17 to 18 hours with the little pockets here and there. So our teams overnight now will continue to work to look at the system. We have some work, a planned outage in Harbor Island to help us in this regard, where we're going to correct the board.
When is this planned outage for?
Tonight, between the hours of 2 and 6, that has been posted. And this will again help us. So whenever we have an issue on the mainland, Harbor Island has enough generation to satisfy Harbor Island, as well as a portion of northern Eleuthera up until the airport or even Bogue. So we're able to basically lighten the load on the island in the north. We're able to generate supply between the airport and Governor's Harbor, and then Rock Sound plant generates and supplies the latter half of the island. So again, issues occur on the network, and our teams are there to address, and we try to minimize the outage. And again, we apologize for the inconvenience, especially during this hot time of year. Every day we see a heat index, a record being broken in terms of how hot it is.
And it's up 100 degrees.
We feel it. I mean, you feel it. It's never felt like this before. So that, again, impacts us, impacts our operation. But again, we are there to respond quickly and to restore as soon as we can to ensure that we keep the power on. And then again, a lot of work is being done across all the islands to improve and upgrade the network. Okay? So that work continues.
Anthony, you're right. Madam Chairman, people understand that. We've been hearing about this energy reform since last year. But what people are saying is this: why do the outages continue when we are being told that, listen, the situation is improving, this is what we're doing? See, it's quite frustrating. You said less than 24 hours. Okay, 23 hours then, that this power was off. In Nassau, pockets throughout and on and off as well. Why do we continue to hear we're on track, we're making great inroads and successes here, but again, people are in sweltering heat?
You know, it's interesting because our gentleman from Eleuthera said something, and it was very telling. He said this system had not been worked on since Hurricane Andrew. So let's start with that. So we are trying to fix almost 2 generations of issues. I mean, let's have that conversation. I mean, the same things. So I myself was out of power 4 nights last week, and I put on my clothes and went to the control center, and I'm watching, you know, our gentlemen up there, and they're doing the switching orders. And we ourselves are customers as well, and we are right here in the middle of it.
So you're trying to say you sweating just like everybody
else? No, I think it's even more than that. It's us as a power company recognizing the fact that we are our own customers as well. We are also customers of BPL.
Yes.
And so for us, it's equally as frustrating. And it's even more frustrating because of exactly what this gentleman pointed out. We have so many legacy issues that we are trying to fix in such a finite amount of time. And right now, all of these issues are compounded by heat and load. I'll give you a really good example. So we're in the middle of having studies done, and one of the things that the persons have noted is that we in the Bahamas do not use energy the rest of the way the rest of the Caribbean does. We use energy like North America. Very much so.
What does that mean?
That means that we're probably the most energy-intense country in the Caribbean. That is the truth. So even though New Providence has a 1.5% load growth, we have a 2.5% demand growth. So we're seeing the demand raise faster than what we anticipate in terms of the amount of meters that are connected. So what does that mean for the average consumer? It's very difficult for us in planning right now to assess what these systems are going to be doing. And so we've now recently put in an entire planning department, and one of the things that they realize is that Eleuthera is actually, not only is it our fastest growing island, but it's growing beyond double digits. We are expecting an almost 50% additional demand in Eleuthera in the next 24 months.
No, well, we know Eleuthera has a great demand on BPL, but the question then is, for example, even here in New Providence this evening, I read, as before I did the Eleuthera interview, about, again, planned outages to bring a main sort of source
to back online, yes.
Is there not a contingency plan that could be put in place to help relieve some of this misery?
I think we need to go back to, planning, right? So you say plan, right? The plan was never for us to be in the middle of summer doing this work. Like we have to be very honest. The plan was for us to have finished this work before hot weather started. That was the plan. And unfortunately, we had an incident with our subcontractor where a young man lost his life, and that put us back 8 weeks. I mean, it literally put us back 8 weeks. So if that event had not occurred, we would be 8 weeks of where we are now.
And you would not have perhaps been experiencing all of this.
Absolutely. As planners, we usually have dates when we say these systems must be on. And they're usually April 15th to about May 15th. All systems must be up and running in case we have a hot May. And so right now for us, there are some things that we have said, this is too much of a risk, we're actually going to wait till the fall. But one of the things that we have to think about is what's happened now is, I tell everyone we're renovating the house and we're living in it at the same time. And that is the most, and that is the most difficult situation that you just don't ever want to be in that situation. We don't have the option of moving out. We've identified 12 circuits. When these are the circuits, these are the main lines that feed our consumers. And these are the ones that we know, typically there are 2 of them that may feed each other and they offload. But because we've had to take one because out of service, because we're working on that one, all of the load is now sitting on one circuit. And so when we see these circuit overloads, yes, to your point, well, why don't you have a backup? We do have a backup, but unfortunately we've taken those out of service because they are part of these works, ongoing works. So yesterday we had an opportunity to have the news in to show our big substation that many persons hadn't seen before. And you really can't see it from the road. It's over there by the new clinic that's being built in our Blue Hills, our Big Pond area. And that really is a world-class substation. If you go around the world, those are the types of substations. And that's the kind of substation that we need to continue to feed the load growth on this island as well. So when you're thinking about the rest of the world is growing at 1.5%, and we're growing here at 2.5%, 3%, some areas 10%, that is a lot for us as planners to plan for and keep ahead of, especially in times like this when it's compounded by such extreme weather.
Extreme heat. Will this new build out be able to keep pace? Because you're saying you'd be expecting a 2+% growth while the world is moving around 1%, 1.5%. Will we ever find ourselves here? Well, that's perhaps an unfair question, but you understand what I mean.
Yes.
As you can plan to see, will we find ourselves here again, sort of lagging behind and trying to catch up?
That's a great question. So we have the transformation of BPL going on now. We have a transformation office, and a part of that is, in fact, having a full planning division that we're bringing in software and teaching everyone how to do planning in the 5 and 10 year increments. I think that's so important because it takes us we can actually now forecast 5 years into the future, which means we can pull the trigger on projects so that they will be ready when that load comes online.
Realistically, if you both can answer this, what is the realistic timeline for this here misery? This same right here, baby, and right here.
In my magic bowl.
In the same magic bowl, yeah. What is the realistic timeline that residents can expect? Residents here in New Providence, residents in Eleuthera, residents who experience it intermittently elsewhere as well, that they can expect for reliable electricity service.
Right. So one of the things that we said yesterday is that we're at 95% completion. So what does that mean? That means that the build is at 95%. That doesn't mean that we're finished, because like anything, when you build your house, you have like your final inspection.
Right.
You know, you have your people come in, and we'll continue to do testing and commissioning, and that'll be till August. Now that does not mean that we will continue to see outages until August. But that means that the foundational work will be done. What we have done is we've sat around the table and tried to get very innovative in terms of moving some equipment around. We have our 12 circuits that we know that are at risk, and we're actually putting some of them back in service. We know that that adds an additional risk, but we also know that that is what our consumers are looking at. So we've put our heads together in terms of moving some equipment around to make sure that we can offer more relief. Now, whether it'll be next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, I can't say. But one thing I do want to say, and I think this is the most important thing, is that BPL is a company of persons who are Bahamian, who are trying to get the Bahamas up and running.
We believe you. We believe you. We just it's just vexing.
It's vexing and it's frustrating
when you are soaked.
You are.
Anthony, I want you to step in, please, and just perhaps give some sort of word, because I'll tell you, when you're going through it and you are there kind of like melting, only thing you want is the light on. So if you can speak to Eleuthera and those residents in New Providence tonight who are scheduled for these outages.
Yeah, well, to all residents, again, BPL works 24/7. We have a call center that operates 24/7.
that who did not take the person's call.
Well, the thing is, there's a good point about
frustrated.
that. We connect people to people, not an automated system. So here it is, we call a number 225-5275. That's a 24/7 call center that anyone on any island in the Bahamas can call. They talk to a call center operator and then they reach out to the person responsible, whether that be the local manager or system control or whoever. They say, hey, there's a problem on this street. They get all the information they need so that we can precisely address that issue. And that's happening. That's 24/7. I have a number of groups he mentioned exist, personal groups, community groups. We have channels that exist that are populated, that are monitored up until the time someone falls asleep. But literally, we watch and monitor that all day in order to make sure that we know the problem and we fix the problem.
And even Family Island calls can get
Every
through.
single person in the Bahamas, 225-5275, someone is there.
And to the people, one thing I want to say to my fellow Eleutherians, because you and I they're saying, okay, I know, my aunt's watching. You know, next year this time is going to be a totally different experience. And let me tell you why. So we're bringing on 15 megawatts of natural gas engines into Hatchet Bay. So next March, those will be on the ground and they will be tested and commissioned. In addition to that, we're bringing on 9 megawatts of solar generation. We have all of those trailers are actually on the ground being unloaded. The ground is being cleared. So all of those solar panels are starting to be installed, and we have a COD, which is the construction date of actually Christmas Day. So we're moving. We're actually building a double circuit transmission line to beef up the circuit. So we are moving. And you have to watch. I know it's very difficult because you have to live with us through the move.
Yeah, we know it's, but you know, and I first of all, thank you, Madam Chairman, Madam Chief Operations, Sir, Chief Operations Officer. You know why? This is important.
Yes.
Because being hot is one thing, but not hearing from the top. And I don't mean the various channels that you use. I'm saying just like this. This is important to periodically do, so people at least feel like at least they're talking. At least we kind of know what's going on, even though it's vexing. So I thank you both, Chairman of BPL, Christina Alston, and the Chief Operations Officer of BPL, Anthony Christie. Thank you both for being here this evening. Thank you, and you're welcome anytime to speak to the people whenever you'd like to do that. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this. When we come back, we're going to talk about those police officers. They must be hard, eh? Those police officers who were in court today. We're going to talk about that right after the break.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price at any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
My name is Charles Wesley Rowe. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tile's Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like you can put on your blanket. But just look at that. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you all tuned in. I'm going to bring in the Hot Topics panelists right now so that we can quickly get to the show and get to some very important areas to discuss. Welcome, Michael Turnquest. Good to have you here. Ruben Raming, good evening to you. Howard Johnson, good evening to you as well. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Hi, Howard. Good evening.
Ruben, it's been a while. Good to see you.
It's been a while, my brother.
I'm so happy to bring you all together. It does my heart, Troy. It does my heart very well. So, gentlemen, let's quickly go over this BPL thing. We see, it's vexing. We know what's happening. We know the heavy lift involved. We know that this energy reform has been talked about since last term and the work that's being done. We even heard during the break them talk about what's on the ground and what additional things are happening right now. But listen, when the lights are out and you've got to sit through that, it's a bit vexing, isn't it?
Most definitely. Shanique, I think, I've worked in utilities, being in telecom for some time. And, it's not an easy job. When you spray your utility companies throughout so many islands and you have so many generation plants, I'm pretty sure, and legacy plants at it. So, it's definitely a challenge, I think, for them. I was happy to hear the chairman, who seems very well educated and well knowledgeable about, the systems and what's actually taking place and what's to come, and it's, I think, it's kind of encouraging to hear that, these things are coming for Eleuthera. I'm a part of Eleuthera. Kind of, back and forth there, and, happy to see that, they have some things coming online that they can look forward to. But at the same time, it's vexing for paying customers when they have to go through these type of pains, and you can't say growing pains because, like they said, this is a plan that has not been touched from Dorian, and I think, who to blame,
From Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew.
And that's another thing, Ruben and Howard. I hope when this new build out is on stream, maintenance is strictly enforced.
The problem is, first I smile, I say, everyone in the Bahamas should be saved because this heat wave should cause everyone to run from hell and seek the cooling grace and salvation of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for God's sake. But when we look at the BPL matter, we must realize that the current pain does not dissipate or alleviate the legitimate frustration that existed, the pre-existing condition with BPL. And in the midst of this, it's sad because we want an immediate relief, which is just simply give us the service we've been paying too much for, which is being too unreliable, which doesn't have the level of protections that we should have when you mess up my appliances. I got to adjudicate you and go through hell to be properly reimbursed. And when your policy does allow me to be reimbursed for all my groceries that I lost, you say up to $750, and my appliances, I got to go through all kind of hell. But now we're to a point that we're dealing with the immediate, and I love how you expressed it, Shanique, with the chair lady. We're looking for this immediate thing. You asked her for a timeline because that's what the people wants to know. When you can fix this problem that you're still going to be working on. And the final issue is, when we look at the deals that has been surrounding with BPL in recent term, it still creates tremendous fear that even if everything else is done properly, everything comes on stream, we will still be, or should I ask the question, will we be still paying through our nose for electricity?
Well, if we are to go by what Grand Bahama is saying, then we hope not.
Well, Shanique, I'm really sorry that this is happening to any Bahamian and all of the Bahamians that it's happening to. And I just want to say, a special thank you to those BPL workers that are out there overnight working in Eleuthera and parts of New Providence and everywhere else in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you so much for the hard work. But I'm disappointed in the government of the Bahamas tonight. I didn't say the Davis administration. I didn't say the PLP government. I'm disappointed in the government of the Bahamas. And that's my government. And it's the government of the Bahamas, and it belongs to all of us. I'm disappointed because I have an expectation. I wouldn't be disappointed if I didn't have an expectation in them. You see, Minister Colby Davis, I gave her kudos in this new term and even before, and I will continue to do that. But they dropped the ball, and here's why I say that. The talking point is about the Pike worker that died that cost us 8 weeks. I didn't hear Miss Colby Davis mention that on the campaign trail at all, on any rally stage. I didn't hear we might not get anything done because it might cost us 8 weeks because of the death of the worker. And that happened before election took place. So I didn't hear that then, and I don't want to hear it now, because down in Governor's Harbor is my 86-year-old grandmother. Down in Governor's Harbor is an aunt of mine, so this personal, that's in her early 80s, and two other aunts who are in their mid to late 70s, and everybody else who I know, friends, relatives, people who I've grown up with, who I know that I've been talking to, as you know, Shanique, all day to day, on WhatsApp, on calls and everything. We have to do better. We could pull hundreds and hundreds of notices that have come out in the last 6 years. So I'm going to talk about my government that's been here for the last 6 years. And in those notices, Governor Saab is going to go off for 3 hours so that we can upgrade and fix lines and do this. We have heard that continuously over the last 6 years. And when you do these things to upgrade and fix stuff, it is done with the expectation that the pain points are going to be reduced and somewhat done away with, and we're going to see results that are better. But when
you're right. This has been happening.
The same problems.
Exactly,
that's
Howard.
A problem.
Yes, and this has been happening now forever. Remember, the gentleman said, and the chairman admitted to it. In fact, it was a frustrating point for her as well. Many of the systems have not been touched since Andrew. When was that? 90-something?
Many years ago.
Decades ago. Yeah. And so the thing is, as I asked, will there be a very strict enforced regimen that says this is how this is going to be maintained? It has to be. I don't care what we introduce.
Right, but Shanique, at some point we have to see results. Okay, if 5+ years of stuff that my government has been doing, right, to the grid, to generation, to increasing capacity and power, why are we still seeing Even worse in some cases. Like, give us an area that's the test case that is better, that demonstrates to us that things have gotten better than they were 6 years ago, right? Give us that area that's the test case. But we still see the same thing happening over and over again. When you say, as a talking point, it was corrected in under 23 hours, man, let's count from 1 to 60. That's 1 minute. And let's count from 60 to 1 hour, and on and on and on. You know what 23 hours with
23
no
hours
light
is,
with 100
listen,
degrees?
23 hours is a doggone
Let's go,
situation.
man.
Howard, but I'll tell you this.
I ain't interested
Colby,
in no more excuses.
Yes, absolutely. Colby Davis did say, though, on the show before election about the Pike incident and the fact that that changed a whole lot in the operations and the work that was going on. She
We
appeared
didn't
on the
hear that
show.
on the rally stage.
She
We didn't hear that at UB when they
said
had
this.
the nice
I
little
asked
meter
her,
and
yes.
was checking off stuff.
Well,
we
look,
didn't hear that, so
well,
I won't hear it now.
They did. They didn't mention it. You're right, and it kind of just.
But you know,
lights weren't going off then. How about that? Yes.
But you know, Shanique, when you talk about LNG and you talk about solar, you know, these are all. This is nothing new, you know. So it's kind of old technology. The thing is, you know, what are we now purchasing? We're investing in LNG plants, we're investing in solar plants, but what technology are we investing in inside of these type of new, what to us it's called new, but at the end of the day, and this has been our problem, and across a lot of our utility companies, we buy old technology.
Let's hope not. Now, I'll tell you this.
And I'm not saying that it is, but I'm just saying this is what we need to ensure that we are not doing.
And I don't think so, because to their credit, they have been on this, they have made themselves available, and this is not the first time the top management of BPL have been here. And they have said that what they're doing is right where the rest, the big superpowers are. Well, not quite, but still, because there's a fighting, there's a sort of a muscling and getting your way in to be able to. But the Bahamas is right there in terms of getting now. I see you want to jump in, but can we just get a couple of these stories, please?
Yeah.
Can you please do that?
I didn't say one word.
Go ahead.
What about resilience? I hear that right there.
Well, maybe a part of that is that solar.
Don't put solar and resilience together. The sports center down there, that big solar field, is it working?
Is it on
I
stream
don't know.
yet?
I don't know that I ever been on came on live.
Is it on?
And I can guarantee you, as long as that's been there, that's old technology.
Whenever we build in this country, resilience.
Put our trust in y'all to fix the problems.
Yeah.
Is the key thing.
Believe me, we are going to stay right on top of this. We're going to stay on top of BPL, of the minister responsible, and this administration. Yes, granted, it is a heavy lift that they have taken upon. That's something that should have been done for decades.
Yes.
But again, we're going to hold you all accountable for what you all
wanted
said.
The job. You wanted the job.
You're going to hold you all accountable for what it is you all said you're going to do.
Give us the details.
Meanwhile, you all, those officers accused of extortion appeared in court today. They face charges of extortion. Linton Ritchie Jr. was there and brings us up to date.
2 Royal Bahamas Police Force officers have been charged with extortion after allegedly accepting money from a U.S. tourist in exchange for helping him avoid prosecution. 23-year-old Brianna Miller and 27-year-old Felton Turner pleaded not guilty when they appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington on Wednesday. Commissioner of Police Shanta Noel says the case demonstrates that no member of the organization is above the law.
We expect professionalism. We expect officers to be out there and be professional, to be honest in all that they do, to be fair in dispensing justice, to be fair in the execution of their duties. That is exactly what we expect from them.
According to information presented in court, South Florida Eric Mondello was detained after security personnel on board a Royal Caribbean cruise ship turned him over to police for alleged drug possession. Eyewitness News understands that investigators allege Mondello paid $600 to avoid facing charges. A makeshift receipt allegedly created during the transaction is said to have contained the names of both officers. The alleged scheme unraveled after Mondello reportedly filed a complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department and turned over the receipt, triggering the investigation that led to the charges. Both officers were granted bail in the amount of $5,000 and ordered to sign in at their respective police stations. A trial date has been set for September 16, 2026. Commissioner Knowles acknowledging that cases of alleged corruption can damage public confidence, but maintained the actions of a few should not define the entire organization.
Not every officer in this organization is corrupt. Officers who make sacrifices sacrifices ensure that our communities are safe, and I will continue to thank them for the sacrifices that they make.
Turner is represented by attorney Maria Doxson, while Miller is represented by attorney Melvin Monroe. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, you all hear what this is and what's going on there. Those officers, I don't know if they graduate junior high because you gonna make a fake receipt but sign your real name. And I'm not in support of being dishonest and committing a crime. But then where is the dude who had the marijuana in his possession to begin with?
I wanted the chairman of BPL. I want wherever they are tonight, they need to make sure the lights off. They need to sweat a little bit more for a little while.
At least in that cell.
Yeah.
at least in that cell. Listen here. See how the world marked the manner of our bearing? I am sick and tired of these national embarrassment. Without national security and security, it impacts every aspect of our economy. And when our police officers, defense force officers appear to have corruption, it disrupts everything.
Yeah. But when you look at the faces, they look like very young officers, and this is what we talk about: know your recruits. We need to put stricter. We have to do something.
We need to stop interfering with the recruits. I am tired of hearing recruits that don't meet standards by the recruiter and the trainers. And politicians call in and say, put this person on, and rules being bent by government programs that have people in on programs that would not ordinarily qualify.
I did say, did they graduate junior high? Howard, jump in really quickly, please.
I understand that correct me if I'm wrong, I understand that these officers have gotten bail. I don't know why you're getting bail. You are committing offenses that you were trained to protect people from and arrest the people who are committing said offenses. You have committed those offenses. You should be held to a higher standard, right? And so when you commit these offenses and you erode the public trust and faith that has been placed in you, you shouldn't get bail. These are extenuating circumstances. The law should come down harder on these persons who are supposed to protect us from the very behaviors they're engaging in.
Well, we're going to hear of another group of officers and why they appeared in court today. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods. handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Surprise Dad this week with special savings from Grand Bahama Tiles Father's Day pop-up sale. For 2 days only, Thursday, June 18th and Friday, June 19th, enjoy 15% off store-wide. Give Dad that special gift with special savings just for him. Starting tomorrow, come in and save with Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Another group of law enforcement officers facing serious criminal allegations tonight, adding to a growing list of cases that have cast a shadow over the very agencies tasked with upholding the law. Here's Jose Etienne with this story from court today.
Janelle, 2 police officers and a Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer are now facing serious drug trafficking charges following an investigation reportedly sparked by a viral voice note that raised allegations of corruption. For context, here's a snippet of that audio recording that references weapons, concealment, and apparent violent outcomes, all while those speaking in the audio recordings, one of them believed to be a policeman, have seemingly adopted a disturbingly casual tone.
That was that was Kamagazi, but we made that look like that was planned. Man said, boy dog, but that going so quiet and clean.
Over 1 year later, that clip is said to be responsible for Inspector Alcott Forbes, Corporal Brendan Dean, and leading mechanic Raymond Russell being arraigned before the magistrate's court on Wednesday afternoon on multiple cocaine-related offenses dating back to 2021. Police Inspector Dion Barr, who prosecuted the matter, alleged that the 3 men conspired to import, export, and possess cocaine between November 1st, 2021 and March 31st, 2022. Their court appearance is believed to be the culmination of an internal investigation launched in May 2025 after that widely circulated voice note surfaced on social media, purportedly capturing a conversation allegedly between 2 police officers discussing firearms, hidden items, and other matters that raised concerns about possible criminal conduct. The recording quickly gained public attention and reignited scrutiny within law enforcement circles, ultimately leading to a formal investigation. And it fueled corruption controversy given that the voice note came months after Police Chief Superintendent Elvis Curtis and former Chief Petty Officer Darren Roker were indicted on major drug and firearm-related crimes. While details surrounding the alleged conspiracy were not outlined in court, prosecutors contend that the accused men were involved in a coordinated effort relating to cocaine trafficking during the period outlined in the charges. It's a striking development for Forbes in particular, who finds himself on the wrong side of the law just over a year after being cleared of any wrongdoing in a police-involved triple killing that left 3 men known to police dead in a vehicle just off Cowpen Road. Forbes, Dean, and Russell all pleaded not guilty to today's charges. Now, the 2 police officers have since been interdicted from duty. It remains unclear whether Russell remains an active member of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force or whether any administrative action has been taken against him. Magistrate Abigail Farrington granted each accused bail in the amount of $50,000, but the men were remanded to the Nassau Street Police Station until Thursday as bail conditions were being finalized. Attorneys Dr. K. Melvin Monroe and Jerron Roberts represented Forbes. Monroe himself stood in defense for Dean, while attorney Lilney Grant appeared on Russell's behalf. This is a story we will continue to follow, but for now, I'm Jose Etienne. Back to you, Janelle.
Well, gentlemen, another story that is quite surprising. It seems to be connected to other matters that happened earlier, but these officers appeared in court today, heard that they are up for bail, that perhaps will be finalized tomorrow. But again, just another blight on the Royal Bahamas Police Force and not painting police officers in the best light.
I have to say to those police officers out there, to you good ones, you have to do double duty now. You have to guard not only our heritage from the Defense Force, I'm speaking to them as well, you all that are of sterling character must step up. You must show up. Your light got to shine brighter than this negative spotlight that these dissident persons who are part of your fraternity is shining on us. We have seen the abuses. We've seen the abuses of the weaponry and the police cars and the police plane involved in things that you have been sworn to on behalf of the Bahamian citizen to protect us from. The good officers. You know, many of you know what is going on. You must start your internal purge, protect your fraternity and protect your commonwealth. This is becoming too frequent. We have to stop this. And to the public, we are aware of this. We have to stop this. If we don't, a good name is better than riches. We don't want our nation to become corrupted in name and in character again. We have to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost lost for words because this seems to be, it's just a continuous thing that continues to, this is our, talking about our country. And, it's sad to see that we're allowing a few to, almost bring the police force to shambles. Like Ruben said earlier, those good ones, the ones who are doing foolishness. We need to start, or you, because we as the public, we feel it also. We feel it with the corrupt ones, whether it be those trying to extort Bahamians, foreigners. You need to start handing names of those who are doing the wrong thing and let's try and clean up our police force. Because I can only imagine what the commissioner is going through. I mean, rather than fighting crime, she's fighting internal crime. It seems like all day, every day. It's unfortunate. But it goes back to we need to ensure the recruits that we are bringing on stream, that we need to do, the vetting needs to be more, like what Atlantis does. I mean, they go and they check everything out on you.
And they recheck it, following audit a few years ago to see what the machinique. You know what really gets me with this further? It isn't just the incidents that are before the court, but this tarnishes the credibility of all other cases that these officers may have had their hand in.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many persons are behind bars now?
Yeah.
Because they put the drugs there, or because the person refused to pay, we say we're gonna lock you up. How many persons have been pressured and placed into situations that sell their soul because of the corruption that exists within a person? This is how serious this is. This impacts our whole judicial system.
And that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Howard, quickly jump in very, very quickly.
Yeah, and Shanique, I think this boils down to personal choice as well. Because when we look at these officers, right, these officers were a part of a cohort, right?
Yes.
And when you look at their cohort, these officers have found themselves in trouble. And then there's a caveat. There might be officers in that cohort and others who are doing some of the same things but just haven't been caught.
Fraternity.
But in the main, I want to believe that the majority of our officers on the Royal Bahamas Police Force do what they are supposed to do. But when you look at their training, and everybody's training apparatus can be improved, okay? I live in Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County Sheriff's training could be improved right here in Florida. But at the same time, this is about personal choices. You've had your training, you've had upbringing, you know right from wrong, you know what society's norms require of us, and yet you made a deliberate choice to engage in corrupt behavior and practices that erodes the public trust associated with your profession. Look at what's happened this week, Shanique. I'll finish with this. When we look at this week, the Bahamas has been battered reputation-wise. We have the jet ski issues. We have multiple police officer corruption issues. Think about how the persons where I live and who I work with, who when they find out, hey, you have an accent, you know, hey, where are you from? You from the Bahamas. I love that place. You think about the stop and pause that they have now when they look at Fox, local affiliate, that ran that story about the jet ski operators.
Did you see that,
and
Howard?
I
sent it to you today. I think I sent it to you guys as well.
Yes.
The
When you see
international
this
media.
stuff, when these tourists see this stuff, it must give them pause. It gives them pause about wanting to come to the Bahamas, and that twinkle in their eye when they find out that, wow, I know someone who's from the Bahamas. We are being battered, and we have to understand the implications that we cause on our country's reputations, because we are all ambassadors for this country. And when we interact with people who are foreigners and tourists and visitors, and we don't show ourselves in the best light, it can be damaging to us in so many ways.
Excellent point, Howard. We all saw that article. In fact, I sent it as well to like senior government officials. Like, listen, this is how we are being portrayed in international media, and so obviously something to pay attention to and stay on top of. Yeah, it's good that these people are going to court. That means they're being weeded out, but it still it gives a bad image and reputational damage for the Bahamas and the police force. I thank you all very much. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, the Chairman and Chief Operations Officer of BPL, thank you both for being here. And the Hot Topics panel, Michael Turnquest, Ruben Raming, and Howard Johnson. Thank you, gentlemen, as well for being here. And to all of you for tuning in this evening. It's been good having you hang out with me all hour long, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited,